Okay, so welcome to Women Who Code DFW. I am Tiffany, your Director of Digital Media. And I have here with me Carissa. Say hello, Carissa. She's like,
Hello.
she's like, so, for those of you who don't know, each last year we did it each month where we had like a spotlight on for a member. And so what that meant for us, it was just a member who was going above and beyond, not only with Women Who Code but also within their careers. So we've kind of minimized that. It's not every month anymore, it's once a quarter, but still we are here with you live to kind of do a live interview with our spotlight on member for this quarter. So, Carissa, can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about kind of what you're currently doing, where you work at, your job title, and a little bit about what your job actually does?
Yeah, of course. I work as an engineer at Bluebeam Software, and we have a really cool app that basically lets you take blueprints for buildings and put them on the map, and then you can interact with that. And you can put markers on there that say you need to do work here, we need to put drywall here. And so it's really cool to code that and then see people use it. And so we do that with Node.js on our backend currently. We're starting to use C Sharp, and we have been using Angular 1, but we're migrating to React. So that's been a fun process.
I bet we've had a little bit of that going on within our application as well. So I understand what you mean. I haven't got my hands dirty on it. I'm back in developer, so it's not my thing. But I feel your pain. So let's talk a little bit about your coding journey. So I heard from a bird. Well, not really a bird. That's weird. So I heard, I heard that you started off as a military medic. So how was kind of like your pivot into the tech field? Kind of how that journey started.
Yeah, I actually really liked being a medic. I liked being in the medical field, but it was just that I just kind of liked it. And as my time in the military was coming to an end, I was really thinking about whether or not I really wanted to do that as a regular person, not in the military. And I just kind of kept searching online for other career fields that I could go to and stumbled into software engineering. And I found this website called Skill Crush where they taught you how to build your first website and thought it was great. And I just kept building things and making everybody look at them. And I realized that if I wanted to do that for fun, that it would probably be a good career for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you kind of just kind of stumbled upon it. It was like this seems cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. So I also see that you went to a coding boot camp as well. So kind of what was your thought process like with choosing to go to a coding boot camp?
Yeah, that was, I made that decision. I was actually living in Washington, Tacoma at the time. And I was looking at different colleges to go to, but because I was in the military and they don't really let you just leave early to go to class, I quickly realized that college, even evening classes, weren't going to work all that well. And online classes were kind of working, but it's hard to fully get uh, the interaction that you need sometimes online. And then I ended up doing some more Googling and found out that boot camps were a thing I could do. And there was one that was conveniently starting right as my contract with the military ended. And it was starting in Dallas, where my husband has family. So we packed up and moved to Dallas and started a boot camp.
Nice. So how was that kind of journey for you? Was it kind of like scary? Like it's like, oh no, we're moving. Also, I'm doing this boot camp and I don't know how that's going to turn out. So how was that for you?
Yeah, it was definitely scary and exciting. I mean, it was scary, but not in a way that makes you not want to do something. I mean, it helps that I had the safety net of family to stay with.
That works. That's
Yeah, that helped put my mind at ease.
Yeah. That's
But I think it was mostly just a lot of excitement because I was ready to jump in and learn, and I knew that it would take me to the start of my career.
Yes, that makes sense. Because here you are like starting a new journey, so it's like exciting, and then moving along with that journey. So that's cool. So during your boot camp, what kind of challenges did you face while you were doing that?
I think the biggest challenge is just that it's so intensive. I know I was putting in at least 80 hours a week most of the time, and that's not required. That was just, I would stay after because the instructors would stay late, and I could get one-on-one time with them to help. I would kind of join study groups. I would get stuck, and I would just be like, no, I'm not going home until I solve this. So I think that was the biggest challenge. I would get up and walk my dogs and then come home and walk them again and go to bed. But it was only for 14 weeks, and it all ended up being well worth it.
Okay. Now, if you don't mind, which coding boot camp did you attend, if you don't mind saying so?
Yeah, I went to Coding Dojo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So did I. Coding Dojo.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. So what tech stacks did you do while you were there?
We did Ruby on Rails, we did Meme, and we did Python with Django.
Nice. Which one did you prefer during the program? Which one did you like the most?
I liked Python the most, but I put the most work into JavaScript because in research I saw that the job market seemed to have a lot more jobs for JavaScript.
That's an important point that you point out there, to like do some research, know what's going on within your area, so you know kind of like what to expect when you get out there. That's very positive. That makes a lot of sense. What did you like most, or what did you enjoy most about your coding bootcamp experience?
Yeah, aside from coding and learning to do that, because that was great, I had a boot camp experience where we had 4 women in our cohort, and apparently that was unusual for that cohort, but it was really cool to spend time with them and bond with them, and we built some good friendships and helped support each other the whole way through.
Nice. That is good. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted. That's actually really good. It is rare. In my coding bootcamp, I was the only woman that survived. So it's like, yes, that's very rare. And then there was one that was in the cohort after mine. So we kind of had that whole friendship going. But yeah, it's good that you had that bonding experience and that you were able to kind of experience that in the coding bootcamp space. It's really cool.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you did do some of your own learning through Skillshare. Was there anything else that you used to kind of do your own learning?
Yeah, I just kind of scour the internet for resources. I still do it. I have way too many bookmarks saved in Chrome. Way too many resources that I'll never be able to get to. But I know my favorites have been Code Academy, because especially as Dave wrote, they have so many more courses on there now. But that was one that I was always digging into, and I was always doing their exercises, because they always have a capstone, or go through a lesson, and then they'll give you an assignment that you can work on your own. And those resources seem to be the best because you can't just copy paste. You have to work a little bit on your own and go through the thought process and look at your resources to solve the problem.
That's good. So when you were kind of going through those resources, was that more so beginning or before the boot camp? Was it during the boot camp? Was it after? Was it a little bit of both, or all of them?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I have learned how to tailor my searches now and find resources more related specifically to what I do. Because when I first started, it was just anything coding related. I'm going to look at it. And now I know, okay, I like the front end. I'm working more with React now. Let's find resources related to this so that I can learn. And it still is probably way too many resources, but, they make more sense now.
That's good. That's good. So you learned some stuff. You learned how to tailor your research, your searching. So that's very important. Did you find any differences when you were kind of learning on your own, and then when you kind of went to the coding boot camp, or even after the coding boot camp? Did you see any differences as far as like you going to get the information, whereas when you're at coding boot camp and kind of information was filled to you?
Yeah, I think important for me to stress that it's definitely doable to work on your own. But for me and my personality, it was better for me to be in a setting where there were other students and instructors to help me along. Because when I'm on my own, my method tends to be, oh, I'm stuck, I better go get a snack. And I come back, I'm like, oh, I'm still stuck, I better go get a snack. Whereas if I'm with other people, I'm more likely to get some help from somebody instead of just snacking all day.
That's valid.
It is. It has its truth.
Yeah. You're like, oh, okay. You know, I can't figure this out. Let me go to the kitchen, grab something. Makes sense.
You know, you're up, you're moving, it's good for you.
It gets the brain moving too. You never know what you could find out. Makes sense. So after your boot camp experience and graduating, how was your job hunting process? So did you find that there were resources within your coding boot camp that kind of helped you with that process?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a career week where we had a really great career instructor. I don't think she's there anymore, but she helped us build our resumes, she helped us practice interviewing, she helped us with our just interviewing skills in general so that we can go and be more personable and articulate ourselves a little better in the interview process. So that was really great. She really helped build a lot of confidence for all of us.
That's good. That's always helpful, you know, when you have those resources, kind of give you a little push, you know.
Yeah.
Give you some information that'll help you. So as you were, again, going through that job process, what was your interview processes like? Did you have a lot of whiteboard coding? Did you have a lot of take-home tests? How was that like?
Yeah, I had a few. I had a few take-home tests that they were interesting because, you know, as a brand new coder, you're just kind of like, hey, what do? Do I just send this in? And so that was a nice experience to figure out how those work. And then I had a whiteboarding one. And then the last interview I had was where we did a screen share and the interviewees gave me some algorithms and I solved them or got stuck and then they helped me walk through them. So that was nice.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
I also, like, during the interview process, I feel like the person that's interviewing you always wants you to do good, you know, because, like, they're sick of interviewing people and they just hope that you're the person so they can stop you. So I've had that to where they've been helpful in the interview process. I'm like, okay, well, what about this, you know? So that's always been good.
It was great.
Yeah, that's good. Did you find, like, how many jobs did you apply to? Do you remember how many you applied to?
I had a list. I think that it was around in the 50s, so I don't think it was as bad as what I've heard, but it was also intimidating.
Oh, yeah, of course. Did you find that it was like an exhausting process of like going from like interview and or maybe not receiving feedback or whatever the case may be? Did you find that whole thing exhausting, or how was it like for you?
I actually got really lucky in that most of the jobs I applied for, the most exhausting part was just having to fill out the same few questions on my applications before I got to submit my resume. And then I ended up just doing a few interviews before I got the job that I'm at now, actually. So I got really lucky in not having to go through too much.
That's good.
But I know that other people have had very different experiences.
That's good. Yeah, it can be a daunting process. So I'm happy that you had a good one. So how long did it take after you graduating from coding boot camp to getting the job that you have now?
It took me about 5 weeks, so just a little over a month. Which I know is definitely fast because I know a lot of the members of my cohort spent a little longer finding the right fit. And so I just I met my employers. I met a couple of them at a meetup, and we got along really well. And I got to have an interview and loved it. And luckily, they liked me, and they ended up hiring me.
That's awesome. I talk to people sometimes about like their journeys and such, And a lot of them always mention that they've gotten their job through networking or, being at meetups and things like that. And it's I can't stress how important that is, like to go and like talk to people in person, and that's how you kind of get things going in our field. So it's good that you did that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I was going to meetups and networking nearly every night, not just to try and get a job, but to build my networking skills so that I could get more and more comfortable at each one.
That's good. And that's really good. Did you find it difficult to go to meetups, or were you just like, yes, I'm ready to go. Let's go talk to people so that, I could start building these relationships?
Yeah, initially I did find it difficult. I know, like many people in tech, I'm more introverted, and so at the end of the day, you feel kind of worn out and drained just from interacting all day, and you have to go do more. But once you get there, it's always a nice experience. You're always like, you know what, this is great. I enjoyed this. I'm glad I went.
That's good. Yeah, I find that as well. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's move on to kind of Women Who Code and kind of how that has kind of played a part in your life and your career and such. So you've been a part of other Women Who Code chapters before, so of course when you moved here, you're like, let me find Women Who Code. I'm assuming that's what went through your mind.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay. So basically, what kept you motivated to kind of keep being involved with Women Who Code?
Mostly the network, and Women Who Code is full of absolutely amazing women who are fantastic at their jobs, who are extremely supportive, who are funny, who are multi-talented, and there's multiple reasons to spend time around people like that. It's just great to surround yourself with great people. But I also just noticed that all of the meetups I would go to, my favorite ones were always the Women Who Code ones, and I got the most value and the most information and the most camaraderie out of those ones. And so I wanted to keep going and get more and more involved.
Yeah, that's good. I'm happy that Women Who Code is able to provide that as a resource for lots of other women in the tech space. I know that's probably a lot of reason is why people get involved in it, is because you do have that sort of camaraderie with other women in the field. So that's good. I'm glad about that. You kind of had your first talk with Women Who Code DFW. I don't know if you've spoken at any more Women Who Code meetups. But for Women Who Code DFW, you spoke about pair programming best practices. What led you to choose that topic to speak about?
Yeah, that was actually, we started using pair programming at work, and the engineering manager at the time, who's now the product manager, encouraged me to do a lunch and learn on pair programming, because I was the most junior member on the team at the time, and he thought that I would have a good perspective to bring. So I took my own perspective and what seemed to be the perspective of other people on the team, and then did a ton of research and found all these great practices, gave the lunch and learn, and they started working, and we were able to refine the process. And we really like pair programming where I work. And so when the opportunity came to share that with Women Who Code Network, I was excited to do so.
That's awesome. I'm happy that you kind of got that nudge from your team that was like, hey, you know about this, right? Or you should know about this, or you might need this in the future, so here you go. Kind of prepare something to speak about it. That's good though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Those kinds of things could be scary, but at the same time they're growing you and providing you with opportunities, so that's always good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So as a developer, I'm sure you've dealt with imposter syndrome. How do you yourself kind of overcome imposter syndrome, or do you overcome imposter syndrome? Because that's a thing too.
Yeah, I think one thing that helps a lot is that I have a really supportive and encouraging team at work, and I know there's a few coworkers that I've confided in and had little meltdowns at work. I'm like, I can't do it. They always calm me down and point out that can do it. Look what you just did most of it. Just finish it. And so they're really supportive at reminding me that I'm capable, basically. And then Women Who Code Network, of course, is also incredibly supportive. I know we seem to talk almost weekly about overcoming imposter syndrome and reminding each other that we're talented and capable. And so that's it's kind of just a lot of reinforcement with positive self-talk, where if I notice I'm in a spiral of, oh, I don't know if I can do this, I remind myself that abilities are not innate, they're learned, and we refine them as we grow. And so, if I can't solve a problem, that's just a measure of where I am at that point in time. I can always work and get around that, and at a different point in time, then I'll be able to move past it.
Nice. That's a good perspective to have. It's a measure of where you're at now. I like that. I need to keep that in mind as I continue my day-to-day activities. That's good. You're not always going to stay where you are. You're going to progress. You're going to learn. I could dig that. That's good. So in regards to, staying up to date with your industry, how do you do that? Do you lean more towards books, podcasts, social media, some other outlet? How do you keep up to date with what's going on?
I definitely like podcasts. I know I've been a big fan of Ladybug podcasts. I know that's popular in the Women Who Code Network. We're all excited about that one. And I follow actually a lot of subreddits. I know that we all kind of have mixed feelings about Reddit, but I know they have like a React.js subreddit, they have React Native, they have Node, and that's a good place to go and see what developers are currently working on now, problems that exist now and that are getting fixed. And they usually share a lot of links about current news. So between that and podcasts and then the dev community online, I just kind of keep up to date that way.
Nice. It's really, it's hard, but it's important to kind of know what's going on, especially when it comes to like specific frameworks and such that you're working on. It's like, you need to figure out what's going on just so you can keep up to date with what's going on, because if an update is happening and you don't know about it, and then you're the person that's supposed to be keeping track of that kind of stuff, it's like, ooh, that doesn't look good. So that's a real
What the heck?
Yeah. What? This is news to me. That's not good. So what motivates you at your job? What motivates you to continue to put out the best work that you can?
Aside from just really loving my job and loving software and engineering, I also have just a really great team that I can go into work with every day, and I can joke with and be lighthearted with, but also be serious and get work done with. And having those people around that are so supportive and great to spend 40 plus hours a week with, that's really motivating.
That's awesome. Yeah, the team is important. If you don't like who you're around, it's going to be a long work week for you.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like you have a really supportive team at where you're working at, and that's really awesome, and it's really hard to come by. It's so important. Dead Air X says culture is very important. It's true.
Yes.
They also said that pair programming is the best when you were talking about pair programming, and so is Charissa. So that's nice.
Yes. That's one of my coworkers. That's Cody. Hi, Cody.
Hello, Cody. Thanks for joining us this evening.
So there's supportive coworkers.
I know, right? That's awesome. I'm kind of the opposite. I'm like, don't go to my YouTube channel, whatever. Don't do it. Don't even bother. It's fine. So that's good.
I did. I was like, you guys don't have to watch. Like, we're going to.
They're like, we're in. That's cool. So what kinds of coding challenges have you had to overcome? Let me pause for a second and say, how long have you been working at Bluebeam?
A little over 2 years.
Okay, that's awesome. So I guess kind of when you started, if you could remember that far back, what kind of coding challenges have you had to overcome?
When I started, it was definitely just getting into the workforce. You learn a lot in a boot camp, but you can only learn so much in that amount of time. And so, especially because I was full stack, I was quickly overwhelmed, thinking, wow, I have all this information to learn. I don't know how to keep up. And so that was my first challenge, was figuring out, okay, you can't learn everything all at once. What are you going to focus on and learn first? And then everything else will start to follow.
That's for sure. So since you've had like a couple of years kind of growing with the company, growing in your role, what now are your challenges that you face now?
Yeah, I think a big challenge, now that I figured out where to focus, is not fighting against myself all day. I know I'm really good at, I'll say something, I'll say, oh, we should do this, and I'll say, no, we shouldn't do that. And then it turns out that's exactly what we should have done. Yeah. So a big challenge I have right now is just kind of trusting my instincts and going with my intuition, and then building off of that and thinking, okay, well, I knew this was what I needed to do. So now my challenge is, how do I explain why I made that technical decision and put it into words that my teammates can understand, besides just, oh, it works.
Yes, that's important.
Yes.
I find myself doing that sometimes. I'm like, yeah, it worked. I don't really know. Let me figure that out, actually, because this may be important later.
That's it for now. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we got this. We can do this. So outside of work, what do you do to kind of unwind, get away from the work day?
I really like taking walks. Walking with my dogs, that's nice because they're all happy. They look back and wiggle, and that makes me feel good. But it's just kind of a nice way to get out and not be thinking about problems, to just go out and just walk and enjoy the breeze or the pollen in your face. So sometimes it's not always all exciting, but it's just a great way to unwind.
Yeah, I can get with that. I'm here for the walking. I don't do it as much as I should. I used to be very resilient with it, It's like I'm going for a walk, and now it's just like, outside. I got stuff inside to do. But that's good. Yeah. It's always nice to have some sort of escape, so to speak, even just to think about kind of what's going on and such within, maybe just your life or the world or whatever it is. But that's always important. So as far as the aspect of self-care, how important is self-care to you?
I think it's really important. I think that it comes in a lot of different forms. I know a lot of people seem to think it's just meditation or just yoga or something, but I know for me, I like to be active. I do kickboxing, I do rock climbing, I do yoga, I do biking. I try to read something from a book every day. And all of that is taking time for myself to do something that I enjoy, where I'm not putting pressure on myself to meet a deadline or to learn something or to understand the concept. I'm just doing something that I enjoy, letting my mind wander, and that's just a way to kind of release all the tension and then feel better at the end of the day.
That's good. That's really good. So looking to kind of like your future, what do you expect, or what do you see yourself doing in the next 3 to 5 years or so?
Yeah, I definitely right now I know I'm what we call an engineer one at work, and I'm really working hard to make it to that engineer two. So that's definitely my next most immediate goal. And I really want to work on mastering front-end concepts. I've worked with my team leader and my manager to set some goals for myself to get my way on that path, and I'm really working with those so that I can not only write good front-end code, but also share the things that I wrote and help other people understand these concepts and help them learn them as well.
That's awesome. That is really good. Those are all really good things to kind of strive to do. I feel that whenever you're starting out and you kind of got that junior level role, the mentality is just like, okay, but what's the next level? I want to do the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like that continues because then after 2, you're just like, all right, what comes after level 2? Like, what do I do now? Like, is it 3? How do you get 3? What do I do? So that's good to always be striving for the next level and to, continue that process. Is there any advice that you would give to anybody either starting out or somebody that's, kind of at the same spot that you are in your career? Any advice that you'd like to give?
Yeah, I think I know it sounds really cliche, but being yourself and trusting in yourself, I think, is something really important because I think a lot of us, like we were talking about earlier, fight with that imposter syndrome. Or if we're new and we're just learning something and we're having trouble learning it, we think, oh, I just can't do it. When it's not that you just can't do it, it's that you just don't know it right now and you will learn it. And so I think it's important to remember that keep going, keep trying, as long as it's something that you enjoy and that you want to do, then if you put the effort in, you're going to reach this goal that you have in mind for yourself.
Yep, absolutely true. I feel like a lot of people have that mentality of like, I want this right now, I want this right now. And it's like, well, okay, hold on. You can get there. It's just going to take a little bit, but you got it. You got to keep working at it, So kind of wrapping up here, if you want people to follow your social media, do you want to give out your social media handles at this time, if that's something that you're into?
Sure. I have a Twitter one. I'm not on there a whole lot, but it's at Dev Charissa. Just my name. I don't think there's anything else there. And then Instagram, I'm a lot more active on, and I'm so sorry, but my name is Charissa Dog Hair Johnson.
Don't apologize for that. It's good.
Those are what I want the most. I don't have a Facebook, and I have Snapchat, but I'm never on there. So.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't Snapchat either. I feel like when it was getting real big, like Snapchat, I was just like, nah. There's already so many other things to follow. I'm just like, listen, I can't do all these social medias, okay? Something's got to give. And now people keep talking about TikTok, and I'm like, listen, I can't be on my phone all day. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
You get two.
Can't do all the things. Thank you so much, Charissa, for joining us this evening or whenever you watch the playback. I definitely appreciate you coming on out. Well, you didn't come out, but still, you had to get in front of a camera, so that's something. So that's effort, right? Thank you so much, and thank you to all of y'all who are watching or have watched. If you have any additional questions, leave them down below, and we'll make sure that Charissa will answer them. Or if you just want to say this was great, then you can do that too. I mean, we're into that as well. Anonymous Anteater says, awesome interview. Thank you both. Well, you're welcome. So there's that. All right. We are signing off, folks. Thank you and have a good one.